Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I know it's been a while, I haven't posted in a really long time. Today's video is going to be about how to buy and sell cars online. I've been doing it for a little bit over a year now, and it's actually a great way to make a little bit of extra income. Like I said, I started it over a year ago, and I think I have buy and sell in the last year probably over 20 cars, I want to say. I want to start first with saying it takes a lot of time because you have to be searching online. I do not buy from auctions. I buy them all online: Craigslist, OfferUp, Facebook Marketplace. Me specifically, I'm in South Florida. There's also a Facebook page. It's called South Florida Sales. They have a lot of cars for sale there that you can also search for. Overall, you can make anywhere from, I want to say minimum you can make in a car is probably $300 to $400. That would be an average of the minimum you could do, and you can do as much as $2-3 grand, and I've done it, so I know it's true. So it's a great way to make an extra income. The first car I started with was actually a 2001 Honda S2000, and I bought it for $5,500, which I don't know in the rest of the country. In South Florida, that's a steal. That's really cheap for the running Honda S2000 with no problems at all whatsoever. That's a great price. I did have to drive about 4 hours to get it, but it was well worth it. I sold it, I think, not even a week later for $80-something hundred. So I make a little bit over $2,000 profit on that car. That's what got me started. Over the years, I always had bought and sell cars, but it was for my personal use. One day I woke up and I'm like, you know what, let me give it a try. Let me see if I can make a little bit of extra income. Now, here are my tips for you to make money on flipping cars. And again, I'm in South Florida. This is my personal opinion. This is what I feel that have worked out for me in South Florida market. And the first thing is, do not buy super expensive cars. I got lucky with my S2000. It was the very first car that I flipped, like for business, to make money out of it. And I got lucky because in South Florida, at least, a lot of people don't have 5, 6, 7, 8 grand to buy a car. When you get a car that expensive, people want to finance it. They ask you if you can do some type of financing. I'm not a dealer. I just buy them and sell them, and that's it. So my first tip is try to buy something not extremely cheap, but that won't go, once you try to sell it, you won't go above $3,000, $3,500. Me personally, I started doing cars that I knew. I always been into cars, so I used to do like 350Cs, SRT4s, the Honda S2000. It got to the point that I couldn't find anything in a good price to sell, so I had to start doing other types of car that I didn't know much about. Now, what I do to find out if the car is in good price, if it's low if the price is low or it's kind of like fair to the market value. So let's say I'm looking on OfferUp. I see a car that kind of catch my eye and I'm not 100% sure if the price is fair or not, or if I can make some type of money out of it. I go into Craigslist and I search for that type of car and see what people in an average is asking for related to the year, the mileage, and all that kind of stuff. I can also go to Facebook and vice versa. If I'm on Craigslist and I see the car, then I open another page on Craigslist and I search for the same type of car to kind of get an idea of what people ask for it. Another thing I've noticed over time doing this, SUVs, they always go really fast. Japanese cars, super fast. I have never bought a Toyota, not because I didn't want it to, just because everybody asks for a lot of money. Even if it's a 1995, people will ask 3-4 grand for Toyotas. But I have done Hondas, Nissans. Nissans are great, and they sell pretty fast. SUV wise, doesn't matter where they're from. I've done Mitsubishi SUVs, Fords, let me think, what else? Jeeps. They all sell pretty fast. Minivans, I only sold one, a Dodge Caravan. It sold fairly quick. I sold it within 2-3 days. And that's another thing, when you buy expensive cars, it takes longer for you to sell. So my philosophy is like, why would I wait 2-3 weeks to sell a car and make $1,000 when in 2-3 weeks I can flip 4 or 5 cheap cars and make 300-400, but it at the end of the day, when you add it together, it's more than $1,000 that you made. Yes, you have to go to places, you have to drive, you have to. It makes you waste time. But at the end of the day, if you compare numbers, it makes more sense to flip a few cheap ones than to just get an expensive one and hold on to it for a while. Now, another thing is, used car, usually older cars, they don't like to be sitting. So if the car is sitting for, I don't know, a week or 2 weeks, then it might start giving you problems that didn't have before. So I try to get them in and sell them pretty fast. Now, where I go to sell the cars, I post them everywhere. I post them on Facebook Marketplace. I post them on Craigslist, OfferUp, LetGo. Anywhere that can get me to sell the car, I post them. Another thing that I want to talk to is, every time you buy a car, you're supposed to title on your name. It is it is illegal to buy a car and sell it without putting it in your name. I know a lot of people doesn't do it, because I have bought cars from people that they bought it to sell it, same thing as I'm doing, and I have purchased the car from them, and the car is not in their name. Technically, that's illegal. So if you guys are thinking of doing it, take the time, go to your DMV, transfer the title. Every time I go, it's usually roughly, because I don't deal with expensive cars, it's usually between $110 to $120, and I get the title right away. I don't know in other states, but here in Florida, you can get the title right away. You can ask them for the title, and they charge you a couple extra dollars, but again, it's between $110 and $120. So that's another expense that you have to throw on top of the car. But it's well worth it. You don't want to get in trouble. You don't want to sell the car that you bought and it works just fine, but then a week later the car goes bad on that person comes back to you, and you can end up in so much trouble for not spending a little bit of money at the DMV. Another thing is, here in Florida, I think if you buy and sell over 3 cars in a year, they require you to get a dealer license. I have friends that have been doing it for a while. They never had any issues. Me personally, never had any issues. And again, in a year and a half, it's been like a year and a half, 2 years. No, it hasn't been 2 years yet. It's been like a year and a half. I have bought over 20 cars, and I all put them on my name. Never had a single issue. Never had a letter from DMV. There was this one time that the price of the car was a little bit lower than they thought it was, so they sent me a letter from DMV saying that why I got the car so cheap. I never responded, never did anything, but no issues. I recently renewed my license because I thought they would say something once I went to renew my license. No problems at all. But that was the only one time, and it wasn't because I was transferring too many cars to my name. It was just because the price was very low. That's another thing that you got to watch out for. If you get a car 2010, 12, 11, don't put that you bought it for $300, because they at the DMV, some people will give you a hard time, some others don't care, but then once that paperwork goes to the actual DMV office, they might reach out to you and ask you why you got it so cheap, which is what happened to me. So that's pretty much it on how to flip cars. It's a great side income, to be honest with you. For anybody that has a passion for cars, do it. If you have the time, if you have a little bit of extra money saved, do it. Don't be afraid. Give it a try. You might never know. Another thing that helps you a lot, if you have some knowledge about cars, it's great, because a lot of times you get the car and it might need something small that if you do it yourself, it will save you a couple bucks. If you take it to a mechanic, then it's gonna be another expense on top of the car. Me, myself, I do most of the work. I have done from swapping engines. I bought a 350C once that was a blown engine, and I bought a crash one, put them both together, so the shell rims of the crash one made my money back on the one that I bought to put the engine, and I literally had it running 350C for $1,500, 6-speed manual. I made a lot of money on that car, but I did everything myself. I swapped the engine here at home. My dad helped me out. It took us about a week, because obviously I was doing it after work, but hey, I think I made like $3,500 profit for a week and a half. I think it's a pretty good deal. So if you have some knowledge about cars, even better. Do yourself the work unless you cannot, and if you cannot do it yourself, if you can get a shop, because that's what I did. I used to use a guy that used to do my work for me, that was a friend of mine, but he was busy a lot of times. So I got introduced to another guy, and I told him, hey, listen, I might be bringing you cars a little bit often, because there's things that I don't know how to do, like AC. I'm horrible at AC. I can recharge with Freedom, but that's not the solution. So anything that needs AC, I take it to the guy. I told him, listen, if you give me reasonable prices, I will be bringing you cars, can't say every week, but at least once a month, twice a month, I might bring you something that might need some work. So that's another tip. If you don't know much about mechanics, try to get in touch with someone that can help you out, that can give you good prices. That way you save some money on it. And last thing, don't be afraid. Give it a try. If you have a little bit of money, go for it. I did it and I don't regret it. Obviously I kept on doing it, so it's money. And I'm not like I'm not a magician, or I don't know a lot about cars. I know a little bit, I know basic things, but it's just a matter of giving it a try. And again, if you don't know what type of car it is or how much they sell for, do some research. Go to different websites to see what people ask for it. So that's pretty much it about how to flip cars. If you guys have any questions about it, give me a comment on the comment section below. If you like the video, please subscribe to the channel. That helps me a lot. I will try to upload a little bit more often, and check out my other videos. I have other videos about my personal vehicle review, my monthly payments. I also go to the racetrack sometimes. If you guys like the videos, go ahead, subscribe, give me a like, and I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll see you guys in another video. Thank you all.